Alrighty, what's going on, everyone? Thank you for tuning in to another live stream. For those of you who've been around, you know what we're doing. We're doing a daily recap of the IPF Classic Powerlifting World Championships. And for those of you who are new here, you're going to get a little bit of breakdown of each of the day with each of the weight classes, what's going on as far as the battles for the podium and anything else that's interesting. So we'll get right over to my computer over here and we'll do the logistical stuff real quick. First is how to find everything. I put a lot of the links down in the description below of how to get to the Olympic channel to watch the live stream, how to get to the IPF website, how to get to this Goodlift website. So if you come over to Goodlift, you want to click over to live, and that's going to have all the information about the championship, the timetable, the nominations, the results, and then the rooms over here to watch the scoreboard. But the only thing that's missing is that they didn't switch the live stream over from YouTube, that was the Masters, Sub Junior, Juniors, now over to the Olympic channel for the Open. So you can go over here and you can watch the embedded video. Let me throw this in the chat. You can watch the embedded video while you're watching the scoreboard, but if you want to watch it separate or watch a replay, the easier way is just to go to the IPF website, powerlifting.sport. Again, link is in the description, and I'll throw it in the chat. Then you come down right here and you can see the link here to the entire Open, and then you have the video embedded here as well. But if you go and click right here, this will send you over to olympics.com and have all the information as far as the upcoming schedule and replays if you want to go watch the previous days. Okay, so that's going to cover everything as far as how to watch everything. And also, for some reason, the live stream goes down, the video goes down when you're watching the room here. Some people have mentioned that on Facebook, it didn't go down when it went down for the 83 deadlifts. So you can always go check on Facebook, go to IPF Facebook page and watch it there as well. So let's pull up the timetable real quick. And let's go over where we're at right now. So we come down here and we're getting close to the end. We are on Friday. Hope you guys are going to have a good weekend this weekend. And we are in October. It's October 1st. So Friday, October 1st here, we had the morning session, the women's 69 kilo class, which is a brand new weight class this year. Then we had the men's 93 kilo class. And then we had the women's 76 kilo class, also a new weight class. So we had two new champions for a brand new weight class here. So what we'll do is what we've been doing the past few days. Let's do the men's 93 since it's only one class, and then we'll do the two women's weight classes. So let's go pull up the men's results here and make sure if you want to look at the open results, you're clicking on Women Classic Open or Men Classic Open. These other ones, Women Classic and Men Classic, will be the Masters, Sub Junior, and Junior results if you want to look at those. So we're going to open up Men's Classic, and then we'll come down to 93s, and you can see it was 20 athletes battling it out. And if we quickly look at the results over here on the right, you can see, three lifters over 800, 873, 857.5, and 837.5. And then it drops down to 790 for two lifters and then goes down from there. So, good little battle at the top. And then a little bit of battle here between, fourth and fifth. Maybe they're just trying to get some additional points for their lifter, for their team, or just place as high as possible. So the main battle here was with Jonathan Kaiko and Gustav Hedlund. People thought, the Bulgarians might be in there, Emil and Teodoro, but they just didn't quite have the firepower. So if we look at Teodoro real quick, he had a much higher nomination, but unfortunately you can see he had an off day, got one squat in at 270 and then missed 277 and 280. I did not watch this session. I didn't go back and watch all the replays. So all I really saw was Jonathan Kaiko's lifts as a highlight on YouTube, and I was watching the deadlifts live. So I'm not sure what happened to Teodoro, but 1 for 3 on squats and end up 13th on squats. Then he comes to bench press. He goes 1 for 3 on bench press, gets 195, misses 200 twice, and then he gets 6th on bench press. So not a good spot for someone who's trying to get onto the podium. And then you can see he gets 305 in his opener, misses 317.5 for some reason. I didn't see that. Goes up to 325 because that's what he needed to catch to this person behind him, Alexi. So Alexi was already at 790 on his second attempt, and Alexi misses 302 on his third. So at that point, Teodoro bumps up his deadlift to 325, gets it somehow, and he gets 790 and beats him on body weight. So that was kind of like the battle between fourth and fifth. Teodoro, he's strong enough that he was able to pull fourth off by getting one squat and one bench press in. But, he was probably looking at the podium. He was hoping, he'd make, 3 squats and maybe at least get, 2 or 3 benches in and then try and pull for positioning. So that didn't happen for him today. Then we go into the battle of the top two. You can see Jonathan Kaiko weighs lighter, 92.14 to Gustav, 92.88. So Jonathan has bodyweight advantage. Gustav has the lot number advantage. He has lot number 2 compared to Jonathan's 1. So again, for those who don't know, lot number 1, Jonathan would weigh in first, and then Gustav has to wait. He's number 2. He has to weigh in second. But then when it comes time for attempts, if they both attempt the same weight, if they both go for 100 kilos, then Jonathan has to attempt the 100 kilos first, and then Gustav gets to watch that, and he gets to do the 100 kilos second. So one gets the advantage at weigh-ins, one gets the advantage on the platform for attempts. For this, for a flight of, one session is a flight of 20 lifters, and you're 1 and 2, I would rather take the 2. I mean, you only wait an extra minute to weigh in, but it gets you the benefit on the platform, which is really important. But if we look at these squats, you can see Jonathan opens up with 272 and goes 3 for 3. He gets 287 and 292. So he puts 20 kilos on his squat across the board, ending in 5th place. And that 292 is like, RPE 10. It was the right call. Like if he had done 295, he may have missed it and had been stuck with 287. So very important call there. 3 for 3 executes. Gustav also executes his 290, 302, and 312. So he gets 22.5 across from first to third, and he gets the gold medal in the squat. So he's sitting in first right now, and he has a 20 kilo lead on Jonathan after squats right there, 312 to 292. Then we go to bench press, and it kind of flips. Now Gustav is the one going first, and Jonathan's the one that has a stronger lift. So you can see Gustav does 192, 202, and 210. So now he's 6 for 6. He gains 17.5 across the board from first to third bench, and he gets the bronze medal. And then you can see Jonathan opens up with 222.5, jumps straight to the world record, 233, and then bumps up further to 238. And that was a little bit of a struggle too. It looked like his wrist bent a little bit on him during the press. Fortunately, the bar didn't go down. He was able to stick with it, lock it out. But, he gets, trying to count this right here, 15.5 kilos across from first to third, and he gets the gold medal right here. So as we go into deadlifts, the subtotal, okay? So Gustav gains 20 kilos here, but then he loses 28 kilos here. So he gained 20 on squat, loses 28 on bench press, and so now he's down 8 kilograms. He doesn't have the body weight either. So Jonathan didn't necessarily need this chip because he had the lighter body weight, but he gets the chip anyways. So he's up 8 kilos, Jonathan Kaiko, and he has body weight. Then we come into opening deadlifts, and you can see Gustav only opens up 5 kilos more than him. So Gustav is down 8 kilos. He opens up 5 kilos more. So now he's still down 3 kilos going into the second attempts. Then as you can see on second attempts, Gustav only jumps up 12.5 compared to Jonathan jumping up 17.5. So now Gustav didn't match Jonathan's jump or even try and go more to gain those 3 kilos that he's behind. He takes a smaller jump, and so now he's falling behind a little bit more. So now he was 3 kilos behind, and he loses now 5 kilos there. So now he's back to being 8 kilos behind. So now he's 8 kilos behind. He really has to do 10 kilos more than whatever Jonathan does. So Jonathan goes and does 342.5, which again was like a bang-on attempt. It was a bit of a struggle. Like it didn't seem like he was going to like lose his grip or anything like that, but it was slow. It was moving. It took some time for him to lock it out, and he got 342. So because he got that, then Gustav had to go big. He had to go 852.5, 10 kilos more in order to win by 2 kilos. Trying to look at the numbers. Yeah. So he goes out there and he tries to pull it. It looks like maybe he just goes a little bit forward on him and he loses it. So I'm not sure what his top end was that day. If, for example, let's say Jonathan had gone too heavy and had missed, then Gustav would only needed 345, and maybe he could have executed the 345. So it was spot on as far as attempt selection to get this 292.5. You had to have that. The chip you didn't really need, but he got it anyways, 238. And then he really needed that 342.5, which is bang on again, because he may have not had much more than that. So that, did his job, did what he needed, made 9 for 9. Gustav had his chance to go 9 for 9 and pull for the win. Unfortunately, missed it. 8 for 9, gets silver medal. So you can see here as well on deadlifts, Jonathan gets gold on deadlift and Gustav gets silver, and Jonathan breaks the world record total as well. So he gets the world record bench and the total, and finally gets his world title after, you know, two national titles, not being able to go to Worlds last year because everything got canceled, almost not being able to go to Worlds this year, but he got the switch from USAPL to USVI and go get his title. So good for him. And then if we look at the other rankings here, you know, like I said, Gustav got gold in squat, Emil from Bulgaria got silver, and then Alexei from Russia got bronze. Here, 1, 2, 3 was all the top 3 guys. Kaiko gets gold, Emil gets silver, and Gustav gets bronze. And then here, Kaiko gets gold, Gustav gets silver, and then down here, TJ Gear gets the bronze right here. So good pull by him. You know, it looks like Tano here, who unfortunately bombed out on bench press, was trying to go for a medal here as well on deadlift, 327.5, couldn't get it. And then this lifter right here, looks like it's Vyashalav from Ukraine, tried to go 327.5 for a medal, didn't get it. This lifter right here, Renee, looks like from Austria, tried to go 330 for a medal and didn't get it. And then if Emil over here had gotten it, if Emil had gotten this 20 kilo jump, you know, this 317 to 337, that 20 kilo jump would have put him into silver medal at that point, and it would have bumped up his deadlift medal to silver as well. So at that point, then Gustav would have had to decide whether he wanted to go for gold or defend the silver in the overall and the deadlift from Emil. So those guys end up all missing. So over here, you have TJ Gear from Canada ends up with the bronze in the deadlift. So that's good on him. So interesting class there. Nice little battle. Gustav made some good progress off his nomination because his nomination was older. And so it should be interesting battle going forward since they're all fairly young. You can see Emil here from Bulgaria, 1997, Gustav, 1995, and Teodoro, 1994. And Jonathan's kind of like the older one, 1992. But, you know, he's got the biggest total and he's done more before. So we'll see if he can continue to improve on that, make his way towards 900 kilo total as these other younger guys are chasing after him. So nice little battle there. As far as the team points right now, you know, we still got all the big boys to come, but we got Russia in first, Sweden in second, France in third. You know, Russia's got Konovalov coming, but I believe Sweden has a lifter in the 105s, Emil. You know, USVI has still Jesus Oliveras coming, so we'll see if there's some switch up here in the teams. And then for the best lifter right now, you can see Russ is still holding first, and then you got Kaiko who jumps into second, and Gustav into third. And so we'll see what, you know, for example, what Anatoly does, what he can get to. And then who else do we have? We'll see, you know, Sank or Tony Cliff. The 120 pluses will probably be too far behind, so they won't make that. So we'll see. I think maybe Anatoly will be really the only one that can make a splash in here. If we take a look at the Open IPF real quick on the men's side, you can see Anatoly here, 114.78. So he could fall in there if he matches it, or he could potentially beat Russ if he has some kind of monster day. And then it's going to be difficult for the rest of these guys. You know, Levon's here, you know, 111. So most likely it'll be Anatoly possibly gets in there, or these will be your three. So let's go now into our women's 69 and 76 kilo classes. So this was a interesting one in the 69s. That's why I wore my t-shirt today. I believe, if I remember correctly, that's the SPD uniform that Kimberly Whopper was wearing. Also, it is kind of like, you know, somewhat Anna and Brazil's colors that they like to wear. So I decided to bust it out for this breakdown here. Oh, it looks like they didn't put the 76s in there yet. So we'll go over to the 69s and we'll kind of review the 76s real quick based off of my head. So, man, this was a wild one. As soon as I went and woke up in the morning, I pulled up the replay. I didn't look at anything, and I saw those opening squats, like what was listed. I'm like, man, there's some big numbers. And on the Olympic channel, they don't show you because the session was already over, so I couldn't go to the good lift scoreboard. But on the Olympic channel, they didn't show you the opening squat, bench press, deadlift, and the forecasted total. All they were showing at the beginning of the event was the opening squats. So I didn't know what everyone else was doing, but I saw, there were some big opening squats. And then I watched the actual squats. I'm like, man, these are tough. This could be an interesting day. The other thing that's interesting is only 9 lifters. So it's going to be a fast day. So real quick, you can kind of see the results. So we'll go over the results real quick anyways. You can see Chandler Bab 1, Marte 2, Sarah 3, and then shocker that pretty much no one would guess, Anna 4, and Kimberly 5. Okay, and then this lifter Nino bombed out. So everyone assumed it was gonna be 1, 2, 3, depending on how the order would be between Kimberly, Anna, and Chandler. Like, okay, someone's gonna mess up or someone's gonna make it to get the position, but that'll be the 1, 2, 3. But I don't think anyone assumed or projected that, what if 2 of them or what if 3 of them have a bad day and these other lifters catch up. So if we look at the nominations real quick, we'll kind of do a breakdown of how these other lifters were able to catch up, and then we'll go into the actual attempt breakdown. So you can see Kimberly's nominated 532, Chandler's nominated 530, Anna's nominated 530, but only Chandler was able to get the 530. The rest of them weren't able to get anywhere close to that. Anna's down at 515 and Kimberly's at 510. So then when you go and look, okay, you're down at 515, 510. Now you're in this area right here where Sarah's at 505 and Marte is at 500. And then you can say, okay, well, from that 505 and 500, how old are those totals? What kind of progress they've made and everything like that. And you can see Marte from that 500 was able to put a lot on her total and get the 524.5. So couple lifters really underperformed, which allowed these other lifters that have made progress to get some big pulls and sneak in and steal those podium spots. So it's very interesting. If you haven't seen it, go watch the session. You can always skip certain lifters if you want. If you just want to go watch the top 3 or top 5 or something like that, you can do that. And also on YouTube, there's some individual highlight videos already if you want to go watch those. But we'll get started. Looking at the body weights, Chandler had the body weight on Anna, who weighed in 68.68, and Kimberly had the body weight in all 3, 67.60. And then these 2 lifters were in there as well that had, body weight on Anna, but not on Kimberly. So when we go into squats, we'll get started with Kimberly's 175, which is actually a Masters 1 world record. So she opened up with a Masters 1 world record. It did not look easy. It's not like her openers ever look like super fast. Some people are very fast at 85 to 9%. Some people are slow at 85 to 9%, and they can just continuously go. So Kimberly's not necessarily a fast squatter, but it didn't necessarily look very fast. But depth was not an issue. She got 3 whites. Then we go to Chandler's, and Chandler's 175. She tends to tip over a little bit, but then, keep grinding through. So some people who don't know that, thought it was a little bit of an issue where she tipped over and then powered through it. But for how her squats are, it looked fine. No issues there. Then these lifters, look solid with their squats. And then Anna comes out with 185. And I thought that was heavy too. She's nominated here at 190 and she's opening up 185. And that looked tough too. So you're like, okay, Kimberly's looked tough. Anna's looked tough. And then Chandler's was a little bit easier, but not necessarily anyone was speedy on their opener. So then we go into the second attempts. And you can see Kimberly only takes a 5 kilo jump to 180. And she misses that one. So depth looked fine, but she just tried to come through, couldn't power through the middle, and she misses. And actually her left spotter, if you go watch the video, the left spotter couldn't get a hold of the end of the bar correctly. They kind of spun on the bar. If you can kind of see back here. So they spun on the bar and they lost it, and the weights went all the way down to the ground. So now you have a spotter on the right side holding the bar, and a spotter on the left side with the bar all in the ground, and Kimberly trapped underneath with her right knee bent in, her head bent over. So that was a little scary. I'm not sure if it tweaked anything or if it bothered her or anything like that, or just nothing. She felt fine. Sometimes it messes with you twisting and turning in certain positions, stuff like that, especially after you just fail to lift. Sometimes you just get lucky and nothing happens, but she ended up missing that weight. Then we go to, Sarah gets the 185 for the continental record. And then Chandler gets to 187.5, and that looked a little bit more difficult. You know, she took a 10 kilo jump. Again, she tips over, she fights through. It looked a little bit difficult, but you know, at least she got it compared to Kimberly missing. And then Marte comes here and gets 187.5 to take the continental record from Sarah. And then Anna comes with 190. She takes a 5 kilo jump. So Kimberly and Anna, who I thought opened up heavy, only took a 5 kilo jump, where Chandler I thought looked a little bit better. She took a 10 kilo jump. So they kind of, I guess, you know, figured out or assessed how they felt after the opener as well. And Anna just misses it. She just bounces in the hole, and as soon as like the bounce can't bring her up anymore, she just kind of drops in the spars, grab it, put it back in. So now you're in a tough spot where Chandler does 187.5, and she actually has the world record. I forgot to mention that. The reason why she has the world record is because she has the lot number 2, so she went first, and then Marte has a lot number 7, so she went second. So Marte gets the European record, but Chandler gets the world record since she did it first. So now you have Chandler, who's 2 for 2, and she has the world record. And then you have Anna, who is 1 for 2, and Kimberly, who's 1 for 2. So tough spot for them to be in early in the competition. Then we go into third attempts, and Kimberly stands up with it, but she gets called on depth. And when they showed the little side angle, it does look like she kind of like stopped herself above parallel and kind of like tipped over the torso and then went back up. So she didn't finish sinking those hips in. So she got called for depth. And then from there, you know, you can see pretty much everyone except for one lifter misses. So, you know, Sarah misses the 187 to try and take the continental record back. And then Anna misses the 190, same exact as her second attempt. And then Marte goes 192 for the world record, because, you know, Chandler got 187.5 here on the second. And she gets it, looked good as well. And then Chandler goes 193 for the world record. And I guess it was just too much for her, because at that point, when she kind of like tried to come out of the hole and she kind of tipped over, you see her shake her head, and the spotter just kind of grabbed it immediately. So, you know, at least Chandler left the door a little bit open, going 2 for 3. But Kimberly and Anna are in a bad spot at this point, being 1 for 3. So you can see Chandler gets silver, Marte gets the gold and the world record at 192, Sarah gets bronze, Anna gets 4th on squat, Kimberly gets 5th on squat. Then we go into bench press. Again, these numbers look big to me. For example, if we take 107.5 for Chandler, her PR is listed as her nominated is listed as 110, which I'm assuming could be her PR. Maybe her PR is 112, but still fairly heavy. Kimberly over here opens up at 105, and her nominated is 109. So again, maybe she's done 110 or 112, but it still seemed heavy. Anna, I since I didn't watch it live, you don't get to see what the initial number was, because again, they don't show it, but I heard that she bumped up her opener. So she has 122 in. I don't know what it was initially, but you know, her max here, or her nominated here, is 130. So at least that is a little bit of room there. So we go into bench press. Kimberly does the 105, and again, doesn't look particularly easy. And then we go to Chandler, who does the 107, and it looked fine. And then, you know, Marte gets the 115. And then Anna over here smokes the 122.5. Was the easiest opener. So now she's like feeling confident, everything like that, coming off the, you know, the one squat. Now she at least on bench press, which is her lift. Things are moving well. So Kimberly again goes up 5 kilos, goes to 110. And on the 110, she lifts her butt up. So she finishes the lift. She gets the yellow cards, and they show the little side view, and you can see she kind of lifts her butt up and then pushes through and locks it out. Then we go to Chandler, who gets the 112. So, you know, now Chandler again making attempts while the lifters are missing. Martin misses the 120, and then Anna comes and smokes the 127.5 as well. A little bit of slowdown, you know, going into the lockout, but, you know, again, moved well. She's feeling confident. You can see she's feeling confident as she comes off. So, you know, she's gaining some more momentum over here. Then Kimberly over here does the 110 again. She keeps her butt down this time, but just couldn't finish it. So now Kimberly's in a really bad spot, being, you know, 1 for 3 on squat, 1 for 3 on bench press. It's a really hard spot to come back from. The good thing for her is her best lift is a deadlift, where she can make the most amount of jumps and gain the most amount of ground. So from there, we go into 115. Chandler misses the 115. So again, she leaves the door a little bit open, missing the third squat, missing the third bench. But it would have been a closer battle if while she's missing her third squat and third bench, the other lifters are making attempts, but the other lifters are missing attempts as well. So everyone's kind of like missing together. And then Marta misses the 120 again, and then Anna gets the 130, and that was a fight. But she tied or matched her nominated or PR, whatever, if the PR is that nominated number. And so Anna ends up in the gold and bench press, which is really good for her, getting three attempts in and doing the best on her best lift. And then Marta gets silver, and Chandler gets bronze. Sarah at fourth, and now Kimberly again fifth. So fifth on squat, fifth on bench press. Tough spot. So then we get into deadlifts. I don't know what kind of changes there were. Again, we didn't see the opening numbers. I think maybe I had heard Kimberly change her opener, but I'm not sure because she kind of opens around this area anyways. So then we go into deadlifts, and you can see here Sarah does the 200, and then Anna does the 200. And if I remember correctly, Anna, she like locks it out, and then her shoulders kind of go forward a little bit. She gets a down command, puts it down. I think she gets 2 blue cards, and they must have gone to the jury. Dietmar Wolf, her coach, must have gone to the jury and got it overturned because I skipped forward to the second attempts because I was watching the replay and I saw, okay, it shows up as a good lift now, and then she's going for 210. So they must have protested, got it overturned, so she ended up getting that one. And then Marta gets the 205. And then Kimberly does the 230, which is a Masters 1 world record. So she got the Masters 1 world record on the squat with 175 and got the Masters 1 world record on deadlift with 230. And that one looked tough too. Again, similar to squat, she's not necessarily a super fast deadlifter, even though it is her lift. It doesn't fly off and into lockout. It comes off the ground, and then it's a little bit of a struggle. So this one looked a little bit tough as well. And I was like, oh, that's tough because, you're making one squat. You had that mishap on the second squat with the spotters. You make one bench. So maybe, the day's not there as far as body weight could be lower than expected. Maybe the strength just wasn't there. She didn't peak properly. Maybe she's busy coaching other athletes the whole week and everything. And so then you see the 230 and okay, maybe the strength isn't there today. But you can see she still put in a 240.5. to try and bump her up into the podium spot, and then from there maybe for the third attempt shoot for the gold. But we go into second attempts, and you can see here that Sarah gets the 210, which is a continental record, and then Anna misses the 210 here. I'm trying to remember exactly how far Anna got. Maybe she just got up to her knees and that was it, but I'm not sure. But so now Anna's in a bad spot because she only got one squat in. And then now where she needs to gain some ground because she's behind these lifters, now she missed her second attempt deadlift. Then from there, Martin misses the 217.5. So at least that gives Anna some hope that, other lifters are missing as well. And then Chandler misses a 235. She gets it all the way up to a couple inches before lockout, and she just can't get the shoulders back and lock out the knees. She's just stuck. You just can't get the hips through and shoulders back and lock the knee that last little inch or two, and she's trying to hold it and fight and she can't get it, so she puts it down. So now other lifters are missing too, Anna's missing, Marte's missing, but at least they're okay, Chandler's missing as well. And then Kimberly goes for the 240.5 and she misses as well. She gets all the way up to I think just past the kneecap, and then it just couldn't get it locked out, and so then she missed as well. So again, very aggressive attempts here. You can see how many misses there are. So at least if you're in the lead, if you're Chandler Babb and you're the lead, you're okay, at least everyone else is missing as well. They're not going to be able to catch up very easily. And then for someone like, Kimberly, you're oh man, you're on the outside looking in because everyone is right now above you. She's at 5'10". Anna's already ahead of her. Sarah's already ahead of her at 5'12.5". And Marte is already ahead of her at, where she go up 12.5. So she's already at 513. So and Chandler's above you at 530. So now everyone's above you already, and you missed. You can't take a smaller amount at that point. You can't go down to 237 or 235 to try and move up a little bit. You got to commit to 240.5 or even put on more. If you're trying to catch Chandler, you're gonna need 250.5 or 249.5. So it's a tough spot to be in. So then we go into third attempts, and Anna misses the 210 again. So at this point, like I said, Sarah was at 512.5 and Marta was at, I believe, at 513 if I'm doing the math right. So they're at 512, 513, and Anna was at 515, but now Anna misses 2. So she could have, again, we're doing, Monday morning quarterbacking here, looking at the numbers, saying, okay, they could have done this, they could have done that, but she could have, taken a 205 and just try to pad the lead, get to 520, and then see if Chandler misses. And at that point, maybe you take the jump to, you don't have body weight, so at that point you take the jump to like 217.5 and try and shoot for gold. But you kind of want to like pad your total a little bit and hold on to your position first. Whereas they jumped to 10, missed twice, and now you're at 515 with 2 lifters only a couple kilos behind you, and also Kimberly behind you. You never know, she can pull something out of the bag and jump you as well. So then we go to 217.5. Marta comes back and executes, gets to 217.5, gets the continental record in the deadlift and the continental record in the total, and now she's sitting at 524.5. So Chandler's in first, Marta's in second at this point, Anna's in third, Sarah's in fourth, Kimberly's in fifth. So Anna's now fallen 1 spot from silver to bronze. Then at that point, Sarah's like, oh, well, I only need 2.5 kilos to beat Anna on body weight. Because if you look, Sarah weighs in 68.48 and Anna weighs 68.68. So at that point, Sarah can tie in total and beat her on body weight. So at that point, then you can see she goes 222.5. Oh, sorry. Her total was less. Let me calculate that real quick. I was looking at the 210 and the 222.5 as 210 and 212.5. So she took a 12.5 kilo jump, right? So minus 222.5 plus 210. So she was at 502.5. So sorry about that. So actually she was at 502.5 after second attempt. So she was actually down here. So after Marte actually hits the 217.5, it's Chandler's in first, Marte's in second, Anna's in third, Kimberly's in fourth, and then Sarah's in fifth at 502.5. So then she takes a 12.5 kilo jump to 222.5 to try and jump into a podium spot and tie on total and beat Anna on body weight. So she ends up getting that, which is a continental record over Marte's 217.5. And so she gets 515. I'm not sure why they marked that, unless she got it on the second attempt. And then Marte came back and got her third attempt to bump it up further. But not sure why they marked it. But this should be the 524.5 will be what's listed as a European record, since they're both from Europe. And then now Anna's fallen another spot. So now Marte came back and got her third attempt in order to drop Anna 1 spot. And then Sarah took a big jump, 12.5 kilo jump, took the shot for the podium, got it, dropped Anna off the podium. So now Anna's at fourth. So now we're seeing in this position where it's Chandler, Marte, Sarah, Anna, Kimberly. And Kimberly's left with her 240.5, which would get her up to 520.5. So at most it would get her to bronze, unless she changed it and tried to go for silver or gold, which she didn't change it. So she tried this pull to move from 5th place to 3rd place and obviously bump up the world record total and the world record deadlift for the Masters 1. And again, she just didn't have the firepower to get it past her knees and just missed it. So unfortunately for Kimberly Wofford, who has, some people say, the GOAT or never missed or never lost, is she never lost like, USAPL nationals or USVI nationals or IPF Classic Worlds. As far as the raw side of things, she hasn't lost in I think maybe over 10 years. Maybe it was 2009 or something where she lost a women's nationals on the equipped side. But, unfortunately, 1 squat, 1 bench press, 1 deadlift, and it wasn't enough firepower, being, quite a bit below her best. And so she ends up in 5th place. She still gets, the Masters 1 world record in the squat, in the deadlift, and the total. So she still comes away with some world records there, and she still gets the gold medal in the deadlift, so she at least comes away with some hardware. But it's just a disappointing day for her. I'm sure she's going to be going back and seeing what things she can improve to come back and give it another shot next year. For Anna, again, disappointing day for her as well, getting the 1 squat. She did get the 3 benches in and the gold medal, so at least she comes away with some hardware. But then 1 deadlift and ends up off the podium. So for her now, she has to kind of regroup because now she has to prepare for the equipped side since Anna does both the raw and equipped. So she has to get ready for November for the open worlds because she needs to get top 3 in her weight class there in order to get the automatic invite to the World Games, which is next year. For those of you who don't know who the World Games is, it's basically the same thing as the Olympics, where it's every 4 years and all the countries send in their top athletes from all the various sports, but the sports are just slightly different. The sports are like the non-Olympic sports. The sports are like one step below that do the World Games until they try and get the recognition and get up into the Olympics. So for powerlifting has been in the World Games from the very beginning, and it's going to be here in the US in Birmingham, Alabama. So the top 3 at the open worlds in each weight class get the automatic invite. Then there's a regional invite, and it takes some people after that based on a ranking. But if you want to get that automatic invite, you have to get the top 3. So Anna has to go back and train and be on top form for open worlds in order to get that spot for World Games. So she's gonna have to switch her mindset there. For Chandler, she gets some time off now. I guess she did the USAPL Nationals, she won. Now she's gone and done the IPF Worlds and won and got the world record here in the squat. Got the silver in squat, the bronze in bench, the silver in deadlift, and then the world title. So now she can, I guess, go back home, relax, and see what's going to be the situation going forward as far as USAPL and IPF. Does she stay in USVI? Does she switch to USAPL? Does she go test out USPA again? We'll see, and whether she comes back next year again to defend her title. And then some great progress here for Marte from Norway and Sarah from Italy. If we look at the nominations again, Sarah here got a 515 total, and she was nominated here at 505. So nice little 10 kilo jump over her nominated total. And then here you have Marte, who hit 524.5 compared to that 500. So great progress there. And she gets she gets the world record in the squat. Mistakenly thought Chandler had it, but Marte got it here on the 3rd. So she gets the world record in the squat and the gold medal, and gets the silver in bench press and the silver overall. So great progress for her, and we'll see how those two progress going forward. If they can continue to make progress and one of them becomes the world champion next year, we'll see. Other thing I wanted to know, an interesting thing over here, Nino bombed out on squat, didn't get any benches in, and finally came and got a deadlift here, 2 deadlifts, and got 5th place in the deadlift. Not sure what happened there, not sure what's going on, but interestingly enough, if we look at her nomination, she's nominated at 180 squat, and she didn't do 145. These were all high. And then she's nominated at 110 bench, and she only gets 77, 80. She misses. And then she was nominated at 235 deadlift, and she gets 200 and 212 and misses 217. This other Georgian lifter was nominated at 400, and they end up at 332.5. So I'm not sure what happened there. Because if we go look it up, I'm pretty sure I can find her real quick. Her numbers in training were pointing to that. She was legit doing those numbers. It's not like she was doing 100 kilos in the gym and nominating that she can do 225 kilos. So this is the lifter right here, and see here she is taking pictures of everyone. So if you kind of go over here, we won't actually watch all the videos. This is a 220 deadlift that she's doing, and it looks like it's Alico plates, and she does it fine. Here it looks like it's a 110 bench, and she says her body weight is 65, and then she has a squat somewhere as well. So over here she's doing a 169 squat, and she's saying her body weight's 63. So not sure what happened that she weighed in 68.88, and then all these numbers she couldn't do. So I mean, these look like legit Alico bar, Alico weights, and she's legit doing those numbers. I don't know if she posted anything about her day yet or not. Doesn't look like it. She looks like she just took pictures with everyone. Maybe something happened, like an injury or something like that really set her back or something. But that was weird to really see that she wasn't in that battle, because if those numbers are legit and her training was legit, she would be right in here for that podium spot. So interesting there. And then as far as the 76s, let me see if I can reload this quick to see if they actually put it in yet or not. If not, we'll just kind of do it by head. So yeah, they didn't put it in, but Jess Bittner ran away with it. She got the gold medal, obviously, and she got the world record total and the world record deadlift. And I believe she ended up with the world record squat. We should be able to pull up from the video real quick, at least the placing. But I don't know if it's going to show us all the attempts. So if you come over here, you can go replays, 76 kilos. Let me make sure this is muted. Let's see how quickly we can find this. Maybe it's the very, very end. So here's the deadlift result, at least. We can't see all the attempts, but you can see Jess did 247.5 on her second. She missed 257 on her third. And then you can see Francesca get 230 for the silver. Sophia Ellis takes a nice little big jump from her second to third to 227.5 to move up in placing. And also she gets the bronze medal. And then let's see if it shows us the overall. Here we go. So again, doesn't show us all the attempts, but Jess gets 210.5. I believe that was her third for the world record on squat. You can see no one else is really necessarily close to her. Francesca with now 190. This Italian lifter who was actually in the first flight because they had two flights. So actually, this couple of lifters, like this Italian lifter and this Croatian lifter, were in the first flight, and they end up getting fifth and sixth. And some of that was also because these lifters knew exactly what to beat. So who knows if they would have been a little bit higher if they were in the same flight. But, this lifter got 195 squat from the first flight. So it looks like they got silver and Francesca got bronze. Yeah, it looks like that. I can't see the lifters on the next page. I'll probably go over in a few seconds, but I got paused right now. But most likely these are the top squatters. And then for bench, you can see, Jess gets 105. I think she misses her third. And then this Croatian lifter gets 115, it looks like. So they may have gotten the gold. We can't see the body weights to see who got the silver and bronze, but it looks like it's going to be Jess and Joyce. And then for deadlifts, like I said, we went over that. Jess getting the gold, Francesca getting the silver, Sophia getting the bronze. And then you can see the overall, she won by, 40 kilos. So pretty easy, comfortable win, 563. And then Francesco at 522.5, really solid numbers right there. And we'll see how she does going forward. Joyce over here at 497. Sophia with 490 to beat out this lifter from Italy for the fourth place position. These lifters from the first flight get 490 and 480. And then you got the rest of the pack there. So really solid day there for Jess. She was going to go for 572 total if she had gotten the third, which would have helped her for the IPF points for the best lifter. It's going to be, I think she's not going to be able to get onto the top three now without getting that. Just trying to see if they were going to show the second page, but maybe not. No, doesn't look like they're going to show it. Because I think there was 16 lifters and they did 8 and 8. And then we didn't get to see Jess's body weight, but she did the 5. I think she was trying to go for 572. And let's just put her at, 76, which would have got her 112.77. And so she would have been right there. And then you have to see what happened with Amanda. And I think it was closer to 113 point something, because I think they announced, the live stream said that it would have put her above Joy. So based on the body weight, maybe it would have been 113.21 or 113.3, whatever it was, to put her above Joy. And then you have to wait and see what Amanda does to see if they would all drop down one spot. But now it looks like, let me see if it was maybe it was something like that. But now she's at 562.5. So she's at 111.18, which is going to put her out. So she won't be there in the best lifters. And as far as the team placing, again, it's not fully updated because the 76s aren't in there. But based on up to the 69s, you got, France with their 3 golds in there. Then you have Great Britain and US Virgin Islands. And Amanda will be, most likely another gold for US Virgin Islands. Canada, once they updated it, will have Jess's gold in there. So that'll bump them up 12 points up to 36. So that'll really move them up to potentially second. And then we'll see how the rest of the battle goes as far as the 84s and 84 pluses. So other things we can look at, we can take a look at the Fantasy League scoreboard for any of you that are in the Fantasy League. You can hop on over to my Instagram and then click the little link in the bio, and I'll throw it in the, I believe it's down in the description as below, so you can use that link as well to go see where you rank. I'll see if I can throw it in the chat as well. My computer can handle it. So if you entered the league, you can go check that out and see how you are doing. It's updated all the way through to today with, Chandler, Jess, and Jonathan Kaiko in there. So you can see we got Justin Avocado here in first place with 111. And then we have Irene here 101, and then everyone else is less than 101. Allie here, she messaged me how she's in third place with 99. You got Rory Lynch here with 95. You got SSPT, which should be Matt Gary here at 93. My buddy Paul Bellinger here at 91. You got Big Bill over here with 90. Six Pack Lapidat here with 88. Tied with me right here with 88. Let's see what Six Pack put as his tiebreakers compared to me. So if we tie on points, we're going to go to these tiebreakers here on the far end. So he put Amanda, I put Leah. That should be interesting. We both put Russ. We both put Russia and France. So it might come down to me and Six Pack on right here. Does Amanda win Best Lifter or does Leah win Best Lifter? So you can check that out. And also if you want to hang out with us and talk about each day's lifting or ask any questions when it comes to powerlifting, programming, form checks, anything like that, you can hop into our Discord server. That link is also down in the description below. You just make an account, hop on there, chat with us while the rest of these days are going. And then, we're up to 76 members. 10 of them are online right now, chit-chatting about what happened with today's lifting. And then what we got going tomorrow. So in the morning session, we got the men's 105s. And in the middle session, we have the women's 84. You can get to watch Amanda Lawrence there. And then in the third session, you have the men's 120 here. And then from there, we just got, one more day. We got, a couple more sessions to do the 84 plus and 120 plus, and then they get their banquet and get the party. So this will be our last full day of lifting. So we'll see how it goes as far as, Anatoly, Amanda Lawrence, and Sank Kokak, or however you pronounce that. So that will be Saturday, so we'll do this all over again, most likely. There are some UFC fights tomorrow night, so I'll see what time this finishes and how fast I can get on there and do a breakdown before I gotta do, coaching stuff, and then go watch some UFC fights and hang out with my buddies. But that pretty much covers it for today. Like I said, the links are down in the description below if you want to watch the live stream tomorrow, if you want to go see the Good Lift page and go check out the results and everything like that. And also the link to the Fantasy League Discord server. You can check all that out. Hope you guys had some fun here. Sorry the results aren't up for the 76 kilo class to break it down attempt by attempt, but really just ran away with it. So we'll call it a day here, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.